You're missing the point of the gospel.
They just don't like the Bible.
Just know that they don't believe in him. Welcome back, guys, to Pastor's Coffee. I'm Brooks. This is Steph, and this is episode 57. Steph, how's everything going?
It's going pretty good. William's a little sick this week, but hopefully he'll get a little better. Just a little runny nose and some. He's just kind of crabby, but he might just take that after his mom. But it's
Oh,
just what
man.
it is. Um, thought I would throw that in right off the bat. See, I preached this past Sunday. That went good. But I didn't make fun of her in the sermon, so that was something new.
Had to
So
start it off
that's
right. I
had
got you.
yeah. So I had to do something this week. Not that she's gonna hear it, but it is what it is. But
How did that go? I didn't ask you yet.
it went good. It went good. Yeah, we had a good youth service. Did a little trivia before. Um, then we played some music and I preached, and then it was over. So it was pretty good though. But how about you? How's the family doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, doing good. We're just still on the countdown every week. One of these weeks, we're going to have a baby. So it's, yeah, just being patient and trying to get everything ready. We've been doing some more stuff with the room, and I had a birthday and I got a basketball hoop for the driveway, so that was an essential. While the baby's crying, I can go out and shoot a
Exactly.
little bit, and maybe take him out there with me, and they'll calm him down.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It
So,
should. It probably will.
but we're yeah, everybody's doing good. Mackenzie's being a trooper, and she's hanging in there, and
Yeah.
we're just excited. So, um, and things at the church are going well. We're gearing up for kind of like an Easter play that we're going to take to some different churches and then have a couple of showings at our church. So just some prep for that. Our senior pastor's um, running himself to death trying to get everything together. So we're just praying that um, that goes well, and I'm sure I know it will, but just
Yeah.
lot that goes into it. So that's kind of
Hmm.
our way.
Yeah. Did Mackenzie have any like weird craving that she would be okay with you saying?
Honestly, we get
Or no?
like a lot of people at the church ask that, and really not anything out of the ordinary. I mean, everybody knows she's pretty picky anyway, and
Mm-hmm.
she hasn't tried. She really hasn't tried anything crazy. Now it's just more specific. Like normally, like she would never tell me what she wants to eat. To be like,
Mm-hmm.
you just decide. I'll be good and I'll find something. But now it's like she'll actually tell me what she wants, which is nice. But it's not anything out of the ordinary. But
Yeah.
it helps me because that was
Yeah.
usually like a 10-minute discussion every time I'm leaving the house. What do you want? And she'd never tell me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she's that's
Albina
helped.
didn't have much of any crazy craving.
Really? Yeah.
Um, but she used pregnancy as an excuse to eat as much as she wanted. So that's a good excuse.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
but yeah. So I'm excited for y'all. I'm waiting for the text with the picture, and
Yeah.
we're canceling the podcast that week because I'm going down. but but anyway, I'm excited for y'all, and
Yeah.
but this week we wanted to get into something a little deeper than what we usually get into. Mainly because I've been kind of not worked up about it, but it's been just on my mind all the time. I listened to some other podcasts and um just some trying to get just some other variety of what I listen to. I mainly listen to baseball
Sure.
podcast and sports podcast, but
Mm.
baseball's mainly right now. Um, and so I've been just trying to listen to some other people and some other perspectives on just life and life as a whole, not just Christianity. I'm trying to see some other people, and as a kid, I always enjoyed watching Good Mythical Morning. I don't know if you've ever watched
Yep.
or
Yep.
you've seen a little bit.
Rhett and
Um,
Link, right?
Rhett and Link,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
And I've always enjoyed them. They're a great duo, best friends since they were born, basically. Um,
Yep.
and so just hearing though their what they call it is a deconstruction. Is truly it's sad to hear. Um, but obviously they have some pretty cool insights on it. Um, and I'll say my opinions about it, but I wanted to just ask you, right off the gate, um, what had been your history with deconstruction, and like, how have you heard about it? Has anybody personally around you gone through it, if that you can share
Sure.
at least? Um, but just go ahead and give a little bit of a introduction to how you view it, and just all of that. So
Sure. Um, yeah, I'm surprised we talked about doing this for months, and we could go so many different directions with it, and still not even scratch the surface of all that the world talks about it. But um, I think immediately what comes to mind is what we're going to celebrate this Sunday with Palm Sunday, because it's all about how fast public opinion changes.
mm,
You think about Jesus coming in, with his disciples preparing the way, and you've got everyone shouting Hosanna, praise God, the Son of David, like the prophecy. Um, Hosanna, praise him in the highest. And you've got Jesus riding in on this colt on a donkey, and they're throwing palm branches at him, bowing down to him and praising him. And that's within a week of him hanging on a cross, with some of the same people shouting crucify him, some of the same people shouting Hosanna the Sunday before are shouting crucify him no later than a week. And it's because of the public opinion. Now it's not the same exact group. You've got some overlap there, but
yeah,
it's most likely that there's some of those same people in that crowd shouting Hosanna as he's riding through town that will be a part of the group shouting crucify him by the end of the next week.
yeah,
So I think our world, you know, and it all goes back to remembering why you believe in the first place, remembering the gospel, rehearsing it in your mind, because if you forget that, you have no ties to live it out. You have no motivation to continue. A lot of times when you listen to these people, it is all based on public opinion and outside circumstances. It
mm-hmm,
is not necessarily who Jesus is as a person. It's not, I don't believe that Jesus rose from the grave, because it's that's not what the discussion is about a lot of times. Some of it is. I don't want to
yeah,
completely generalize, but most of the time is, I can't serve a God that is judgmental against those people, or I
mm-hmm,
can't serve a God that won't allow this to happen, or he does allow certain bad things to happen.
yeah,
And you're missing the point of the gospel. Um, and it shows. I mean, Paul says, "Those who leave us were never of us," and you want to be sensitive to those things, but I really think that deconstruction comes down to the sway of public opinion and how fast we can change based on the size of the crowd, and how the world keeps saying, God is not a God that we should serve because he's judgmental against these people,
yeah,
or not accepting to this act, or not inclusive to this group. And you're missing the whole point of the gospel. We're all
yeah,
sinners. Jesus hangs on the cross. He's nailed there, dies, raises again, and all sins are paid for based on our belief. But we get so hung up on what the world's opinion of him is without
yeah,
actually getting to know him ourselves. So, hand off to
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you brought up the public opinion, and I've never really put two and two together there, I guess. I think we are so influenced by the people around us, what is said around us. And I think just thinking about what I've been listening about it, you're right. They don't necessarily just stop believing in God. They just don't like the Bible.
Right.
It
Yeah.
when you come down to it, is
Hmm.
that they're very for Jesus and his teaching.
A
Because
lot of times. Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of the people that I've been listening to when they talk about it is that, yeah, I love Jesus and his teachings, but then once it gets to a part where they don't like it, then it's like, well, he's not that's just not the Jesus that I follow. And it gets tricky there, because um you don't want to we as Christians don't want to judge others and say they're not saved or all of this. And you look at I was looking in First John 2:19, and that's where
Hmm.
talking about those who were never with us, or
Yeah.
what's to say again? Those,
He'll leave us, we're never of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't want to be quick to judge, but I think deconstruction people are along that case is that they never truly understood the gospel.
Yeah.
Because the fact is this, is that when you experience Jesus' love for
Mhm.
that first time, when you truly fall in love with God, with
Yeah.
Jesus for the first time, it's remarkable.
Right.
And to say that you can walk away from that and deconstruct your faith because of some outside circumstances, not because of what Jesus did, not because of what um, his teachings,
Yeah.
which, well, it some of them do, but um, I just don't find it the case that you can be a Christian and walk away.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I do think there are people who can have a view of Christianity who then can change views in Christianity,
Sure.
but the thing is that they understood the gospel
Yep.
that whole time.
Yep.
You know, I I look at myself differently than when I was at a first Christian, right? I always viewed myself as a sinner, right? And I viewed that Christ died for me and he rose again from the grave um to die for my sins, but the
Mhm.
weight of my sins I never understood.
Right.
And I had to, when I grew up a little bit, I looked back on my faith and said, "Oh, I don't really have a good view of sin. I believed in sin, but." And so I think it's good. I think a positive that I can say about it, and we can
Mhm.
always. I have plenty negative, but a positive that I could say is that we as Christians should always be reevaluating ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But are we reevaluating ourselves on our feelings or other
Mhm.
people around us, or is it from God's word? You know,
Yeah.
that's where I think deconstruction goes wrong, is because you look at, "Oh, the church hurt me here. The church is
Mhm.
so stuck up in tradition. The church is so fundamental.
Right.
It's so dogmatic." When you start trying to base your religion off of the people around you, of course it's gonna fail, because the people around you are fallen human beings who've fallen into sin and fallen short of the glory of God.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think we as Christians have to be careful with deconstruction. I don't think if you are a Christian, you should deconstruct. Is that the thing? I think you should reevaluate your life,
Yeah.
reevaluate your beliefs in the Bible, not because of what I said, not because of what Brooke said, not because of what your head pastor would say, but because of what the Bible says. Um, and I think that's a good introduction to what I think. Is there anything else you wanted to add
Well,
on that real quick?
I would just say, um, I heard a pastor say once that non-believers aren't doubting whether or not they're saved by Jesus or not. They just know that they don't believe in him. If you don't believe in Jesus, you know you're not being saved by him. Okay.
Mhm.
Doubting is not necessarily sinful.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes doubt leads you to greater understanding because then you're able to go back into the text and back into prayer and Jesus reveals himself even deeper to you. So doubt is not always sinful. Doubt sometimes refines. That isn't necessarily what we're talking about though. But deconstruction in itself, at its fullest capacity, biblically, it's not a thing because it's
No.
saying that I was a Christian, I'm no longer that. John 10, and that's what I was turning when you were talking.
Mhm.
Um, starts. I mean, you know it, but just for our listeners, verse 27: My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, and I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Never shall anyone snatch them out of my hand. And that's not even ourselves. Not even ourselves. He keeps us. We didn't do anything to earn salvation. We can't do anything to leave it, but it's based on genuine belief. And if that faith isn't genuine, that shows up in destruction later on down the
Yeah,
line. Now, doubts, we can all go through that. There's sometimes in
for
our life
sure.
where life is really tough and we're in a rut, but you always come back
Yeah,
because it was real to you. If it's not real, yeah, you can call it destruction, whatever you want. It's just you didn't believe. Then
yeah,
that's what it is. Not being sensitive, but
yeah.
those who are
There's
held by
nothing
him.
to deconstruct in a sense.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, and I think again, as Christians, we need to reevaluate ourselves, and because we are going to have the doubt.
Absolutely.
The devil is always going to be.
yeah,
tempting us and pushing these doubts. I mean, even when I listen to these things, even as a pastor, I'm like, man,
yeah.
they kind of have a point there. But then like you have to base your belief on the Bible and not on what man says, because the moment we do that, we're done for.
What's the exact you're exactly right, and it's I mean, what you're getting at is in that same exact passage. I mean, John 10:10, talking about Satan, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So he's setting that all up, but then it goes back to verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. If we're not walking close to the shepherd, we're able to get away, and we are deceived, we are
Yeah.
destroyed, we are killed,
Yep.
and that's where you've got to stay close to the shepherd because that's when those doubts come in. Not talking about deconstruction, but just when life gets tough and you have those doubts, you feel alone because you're away from the shepherd.
Yep.
Um, so that passage is, I mean, so timely for that, I
Yeah.
think. But
Oh, for sure. And I think it goes right along with what we're about to celebrate in this whole week.
yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up with
yeah.
how quick our lives are and how quick we can change our whole
Oh
life
man, yeah,
format.
yeah.
And I look, I mean, not to just point out Rhett and Link on this, but they go from a life where they were very heavily involved in the church. I didn't know they were like worship leaders in
Oh,
the
I didn't know
church.
that. Yeah,
They weren't just just a casual church goer. They were pretty heavily involved.
yeah,
Um, and I'm sad to see what the church can do to people. Um, but I think that that's also on them for allowing it to do that. Um, but not making the other people what they did was right. Um, but yeah, I think that's a whole different topic for another day.
yeah.
Um, but let us know down below. Let us know in the comments about this topic. I think we can go further into it. But I just kind of want to get an introductory kind of episode on it because
Sure.
it's a big topic nowadays. I think a lot of people are
Mm,
dealing with this
for
because they're like,
years.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's truly kind of sad to see people thinking the way they do,
yeah,
um, based off of not what God said. So,
yeah.
um, anything else you wanted to add real quick, or ready to move
Probably
on?
save more of it in the next weeks. But I mean, I just think it comes down to I think a lot of people, when they are having doubts, it does go back to salvation, and you just got to remember, salvation's not based on us, but what He already did,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the whole essence of that deconstruction kind of thought, because we are thinking that we can take ourselves out of His hand,
Yeah.
and it's just it's not possible. If it's real, we're a new creation. He's not going to undo
Yeah.
the newness that He's done,
Mm-hmm.
But it all goes back to, was this real? What were you made new? Was it
Yeah.
genuine? And doubts are going to be there. But
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was first reading John 10:28. I think
yeah,
28 the verse, right? Um, and I just remember just thinking, and this is gonna sound cheesy, but I held my hand up like this,
yeah,
and I was like, literally nothing can take me out of God's hand,
right, right.
and
Not even you,
nothing, not even
not
me.
even
I
yourself.
can't even open His hand like it
Yeah,
for my own life
yeah,
because He made me a new creation.
right.
And that's incredible to think of, and we're
Yeah,
having baptism this Sunday for Palm Sunday, um,
yeah,
and just to think of that newness of life,
yeah,
you are a whole new creation in God,
yeah,
and if you haven't had that, then it's super easy to deconstruct,
yeah.
so, um, but anyway, we appreciate you guys, let us know what some more you'd like us to talk about, we can
Mm,
go very much, into that, um but we're gonna go ahead and move on. Check us out on socials. About to hit 100 on Instagram. That'd be cool.
would
Um,
be
so we'll shout you out because why not? Um, but anyway, we're gonna move into a little bit of an Easter themed game here. Not Easter themed game, but we're gonna go back to top five this week. Um, but we're gonna do a little Easter spring themed. Okay.
okay.
Um, I'm gonna give Brooks a top five Easter basket candies. So many good ones out there, by the way. So many good ones. I did a little research before getting on here.
Okay.
And Brooks is gonna give me 5 different places that I would want to go on spring break.
Yeah.
Um, so who would like to go first here?
Your call.
I'm gonna um I'm gonna give you the candy first.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Top 5. Blind.
Again, this is a top 5 blind ranking, so I'm gonna give them one, rank it 1 to 5, and then from there on. Um, and the thing is, we could have different Easter baskets, so
Sure.
I think we might vary a little bit. Maybe you haven't had one of these things, but this one I'm pretty positive. Where are you putting Reese's peanut butter egg? Which, let me tell you, is different than the cup.
Oh, absolutely it is. Yes,
Different
we can
ball
agree
game.
there. Reese's is up there, man. I'm just gonna hold out for number one right now, but I'm gonna put it at two. I'm gonna put it at
Okay.
two. I'm just
Yeah.
holding it out just in case, but
Okay.
it's up there. It is up there.
Good. Good. Reese's egg is one of my favorites. I personally, I'd probably put it at one, just
Yeah,
because me and my mom always loved it growing up, and that was always in the
yeah.
basket.
Depending on
Um.
what else is on here, I'm probably kicking myself because it is up there as my favorite. But
Yeah.
I'm just thinking maybe one more thing that I would like just
Okay.
a little bit more.
Where are you gonna put um Peeps?
A little overrated, in
I
my
agree.
opinion. So I'm gonna go number five.
5 though. Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you don't like them at all, or they're just
I just
overrated?
think I would take so much more
Okay.
over them. So depending on what else is on here, I feel pretty comfortable unless you just throw me a Paul Skeens curveball here, um, and uh,
Oh.
and change my mind. But I'm gonna
Okay.
stay at five.
Okay. I do agree that they are overrated. Um.
Yeah,
But
that is the Easter candy. I mean, you had
it
to have it
is.
on the list,
Yeah, you have
but
to.
yeah.
Um. Where are you gonna put? This can be very broad here, but where you get putting a chocolate Easter bunny,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and that can be just solid chocolate, hollow chocolate, just like not a name brand
Yeah.
chocolate, basically.
Because it's so broad, and I've had good and bad. I'm gonna place it at four.
Okay.
Um, but when it's good, it's good.
Yes.
But I've had some that
When
take
they're
that belief.
bad, they're bad.
Yeah. So because it's so broad, I gotta go four.
Yep.
But I'd still rather take roll the dice than have peeps, honestly.
There you go.
I'd rather yeah. So
Um. Okay. Where are you going to put? And I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I've always seen them. A Cadbury cream egg.
I like them. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Um, don't know what your last one is, so I could be killing myself here,
Mm,
but it's definitely not
mm,
over two. So I
yeah,
think I gotta go three.
it's a good call.
But
It's
I
a
don't
good
know
call.
what you're gonna do to me.
I don't know if I'm gonna have your favorite on here, to be honest with you. Now that
I don't
now that
know.
you've guessed them all.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna put in one here, and this is also a broad thing.
Okay.
But it would be jelly beans. I feel like jelly
Oh,
beans are very, very Easter candy.
they are.
Um,
I
not at
should have thought
one,
about them. Yeah, not
but
at one. Not at one.
yeah, yeah.
So I missed that one up. I missed that one up. I usually been doing pretty good with my list. I
You
missed
have
that one
been.
up.
I that one.
Reese's would definitely be one. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
What were you hoping out for?
Nerd clusters.
Nerd
That's my
clusters.
go-to. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that definitely is number one on that list for sure. I just
Hmm.
don't know if it's an Easter
Or
candy.
I kind of thought that you were going to do, well, I guess I was more so just thinking like Easter basket, like things period, but it's not a candy. I was thinking more beef jerky too, because that's like my
I
favorite thing to get in the Easter basket.
I
But
seem to
that's not
get
a
that as
candy.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. See
Yeah.
that I like mine always has a chocolate bunny in it for sure, and the
Yeah.
Reese's eggs,
Sure.
and then um yeah, and then I get like Twix. Like I just get like we'd always get like Twix and Snickers and all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. You can't go
Um
wrong. Yeah.
No, you can't. I loved it. But they
Yeah.
technically weren't Easter candy, so I had to look up a little different. So,
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
um, but anyway, great list there till the end. Peeps
Yeah.
are overrated. I think people need to realize that. Like they're
Yeah.
good, but if you eat more than one or two of them, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like it's chocolate chip pancakes. It just ruining my day.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
pure sugar.
Yeah, you might as well just
You
open up
just might
the.
as well just take a spoonful of sugar.
Might as well. Yeah.
Might be even better for you, honestly. I don't
I've never tried. So I don't know. But
know.
yeah.
um,
All right, your turn.
yeah, but before you start, I
Uh-huh.
just want to preference that I've never been on a spring break. I've never gone anywhere except
You never
home.
went anywhere.
Yeah. So
Wow.
this is like brand new to me.
Complete fantasy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we
Okay.
always like. Did you go somewhere during college? Like for spring break?
Not really in college. There was I think 2 of the years I went and saw an NBA game maybe,
Okay.
um, but not really anything extensive. But
Okay.
but during high school, like when we because my mom and dad were both teachers, still in the school system, and so we would all have the same spring breaks. So we would usually
Gotcha.
take this kind of a mini trip, which was cool. But
Okay.
well, let's see this for you.
Let's see.
Um,
Let's see how we go here.
Number one, and this is very generic, but I mean, a lot of people call spring break beach week, a lot of times. So, um, the beach, where would you rank that top
Where are we
five on a
putting the
spring
beach?
break? And
Um,
that could be anywhere.
it can be anywhere, any beach,
Yeah.
which I would
Hmm.
probably prefer Myrtle.
Yeah.
That I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
Um, I do kind of want to go to Florida one of these
Be
years.
awesome. Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Hmm.
Um, but I think for the beach now, can I say something before?
Sure.
Am I taking Albina or is this a college Nathan spring break?
I'm gonna let you define that however you want.
Because it affects it. I'm just but because Albina's just not the
Yeah.
biggest fan of the beach. But I'm like a big guy about the beach. Like I like going to
I
the
love the
beach.
beach. Yeah, I love the beach.
Like it's not my favorite, but it's also not as bad as Albina makes it out to be.
Gotcha.
um,
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna say I think that's goated
It
and
gets
spring
one.
break. I'm
Okay.
gonna put it at 2 though.
Okay. Just to be safe.
Just in
Okay.
case, because there
Okay.
might be something I would just really love to do, and it's
All
gonna be
right.
on here. I'm gonna put it at
Okay.
2 though. It's a solid.
Okay. Um, Depending on when spring break falls, like this year, it was at least for around us, it was um, opening week of baseball.
Mm,
So this trip would be a big city, and you watch a series for a spring break trip.
a whole baseball series.
Yeah, you get a series
And I
because
can
it's a
choose
week. Spring
Pittsburgh.
break's a week.
I
Yeah,
can
you can choose
choose.
anywhere.
I can choose Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna have to go number 1 there.
that's number one.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think that to watch a
okay,
whole series,
okay.
like
So
I
that's ideal.
personally, I would choose to probably go to like LA and watch the Pirates
Yeah,
play
yeah, it'd be cool.
a
Yeah.
whole series at Dodger Stadium, which would be
Okay.
pretty fire.
Okay. So you got one and two locked up.
I might be shooting myself in the foot there, but I think that's beautiful.
Well, there's a lot of ways we can go here.
Hmm.
So um,
Again, Albina
next,
would have really depended if I. This is about Nathan. This is about Nathan. We're leaving Albina out of this because if that was the case, this would be 4 and 5. So I'm going by myself.
okay, I'll go with you. And
Thank you.
then next one is um, a trip to Orlando, and you've got all the Disney parks in a week.
Get all the Disney parks
Oh,
in
there
a
we go. We
week.
got a
There
thumbs
we
up.
go. Um, Now is Orlando where Star Wars is?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's 3.
and we've got to go. We've
Yeah,
got to go there at some
we've
point.
got to go. We we've
That
got
would
to
be
do that.
awesome,
Going to the beach in Florida and to
man. That'd be a trip. That'd be a
yeah
trip.
yeah
Which you got some overlap there with the beach, and so I
you
kind
do.
of throw you a curve there, um,
Okay.
but you're pretty much at the parks during this trip. You're pretty much
Yeah
at the
yeah.
parks most of the
I
trip.
still
Okay,
I'm I'll put it at 3. I'll say it probably would have been at 2 though,
okay, all right,
but I'm at 3 here.
okay. Um,
You're not missing.
the next one is just stay at home with not a single responsibility the entire week. You get an actual break,
Okay.
so you can just watch games, you can play video games, not a single responsibility that whole week.
Not a single thing to do. That sounds pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Not a single thing. Let's
What are we
go,
thinking?
man. You
4 or
didn't
5?
mess with this. I'm gonna have to put it at 4, unless you throw something crazy at
Well,
5.
what's going to happen is we probably better at this part out because this is probably going to go in front of the board because where you're ranking this next one. What about a mission trip for a
Oh
whole
wow,
week?
5. Oh, you got me good.
Backed him into a corner.
For everybody who just tuned in, a mission trip would be so good. I'm gonna put it at 1
That's
because
number one, obviously. Yeah,
yeah,
obviously.
obviously, I would rather, I would rather. Oh,
Oh,
I
we're
guess we'll have
canceled.
to. I
We're
guess we'll have to
canceled.
put it at 5.
That's so bad.
Oh, that was good. That was a good setup. We both had terrible lists, technically. Um,
Yeah, those first 4 things, we wouldn't have wanted to do any of this.
no, I would rather go to a mission trip than stay at home and
It was
do
just
nothing.
flipped. You thought 5 was the best,
Yeah,
and
that's what we
1 was
did.
the worst. That's what you thought.
I would never want to go to a Pittsburgh Pirates series. That's
I
just
mean,
horrible.
exactly. Come on.
Set me up good there. You set me up
Sorry,
good. That might have been the best.
you got me last week.
I did. And yeah. So
Sorry, had to.
I am very excited about our mission trip. Um
Yeah, you got one
apparently
coming up.
I do.
Yeah,
Apparently not, it's on number 5 for me, but
yeah.
it's there. Um One of these times we just gotta go
That
on a
was too
spring.
good.
One of these times we gotta go to a spring break together.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
whenever whenever we can do that. So,
yeah. That would be sweet.
but
And
well,
maybe we'll make it a mission trip
maybe.
by the beach.
Oh, shout out to um Mr. Styles. When we were in that one class, maybe we don't need to share this, but in that one class, and we were looking up future churches, and
Oh
Mr.
man,
Styles was going off about that one church in Florida he was about to go to.
they need Jesus too, man.
They need Jesus down in Florida.
Oh, it's hilarious.
uh, yeah, we'll think about a mission trip next year to Florida.
Yeah, maybe catch an NBA game. There's a lot of people there could be witness to. There's a
There's
lot
a
of people.
lot. There's a lot. We'll stand out in front of the stadium with a sign.
Yeah,
We're on spring break.
that's right.
So,
Oh, it's
oh
funny.
my. Well, thank you guys for listening. Kind of forgot we were doing a podcast. But that's the joy of it all.
It is.
Um,
It is.
but we appreciate you guys listening, and hope you guys have a great week. Check us out on the socials, and we'll see you next week.
Take care and support missions.
There we go. Support me. Oh, that's good.